We have identified in our scenarios an investment gap of around $800 billion per year. The largest part in the developing countries, around 550 of these $800 billion per year, would be needed in the developing countries in order to initiate this upscaling of low-carbon technologies that would be needed for the 2-degree transition.
What does really matter for negotiation is not the extent of global costs, but rather the extent to which one region would pay more or less with respect to another. So that's why we look at the distribution of costs. And this is what you see in this chart. OECD countries would bear costs which would be lower than the global average. A series of developing economies that you see here in the middle would have costs roughly equal or slightly above the global average, here indicated by this line at 100. And some countries, most notably the energy exporting countries, would face costs which are higher. This chart is showing and clearly pointing to a clear inequality. You could also think about changing this inequality by allowing transfers, by allowing some countries for paying some of this mitigation effort of some others. In this way, not all countries have to do everything domestically with their own means, but rather they can rely on also foreign aid and carbon markets in the specific sense to carry out a fraction of their mitigation activities. Now, the consequences of that would mean that you need to establish a large carbon market, well functioning, already by 2030.
This would require a pretty substantial number of emissions traded between the various regions and a substantial volume of financial flows. And that is, of course, a question how institutionally this can be managed. But the key message here is, if you want to reach 2 degrees in the long term, the transformational challenges are so high that you really need to act globally. Everybody needs to contribute.
Plus, it would also need and require the commitment of developed economies to send billions of dollars, potentially $100 billion every year, to developing economies, which is not obvious at all.